Each faith has its own traditions and regulations on how to commemorate the life of someone who dies. Those adhering to the Catholic faith have some of the most clearly stated recommendations, which are the same for Catholics all over the world. The Church insistently recommends that the bodies of the deceased be buried in cemeteries or other sacred places. In 1917, the Church allowed cremation only in times of plague, disaster, or other situations that necessitated a quick disposal of the body. In 1963, the year I was born, the Catholic Church changed its policy and lifted the ban on cremating due to sanitation risk, overcrowded cemeteries, and other financial reasons. Nevertheless, they were still adamant that burying the dead was preferred. Burial is the most appropriate way to express faith and hope in the resurrection of the body. Additionally, it was their preference that the funeral ceremony be performed before the body was cremated. However, in 1997, the Church again changed their code, allowing funerals to be performed in the presence of the cremated body, the ashes. That if there is not a presence of the deceased in some form which can be mourned by the family and friends, it can hinder a healthy mourning. Now the Church insists that the remains are buried in a sacred place. In 2016, the day before All Souls Day, the Vatican issued a definitive guidelines concerning cremation, where many Catholics desire that their ashes be scattered in a special place for them or their loved ones. It's decreed that ashes are not to be scattered in the land, air, or sea, or any other fashion. Ashes are not to be distributed or split up amongst family or friends. It must be kept whole. In addition, ashes are not to be placed in the home or made into jewelry or cremation diamonds or art or any method. Cremated remains are to be buried only in cemeteries or other sacred locations that encourage Catholic community to pray for and remember their dead. The remains should be treated with reverence at all times, including when being handled or transported. The ashes should be placed in an urn or a proper container. A stand or table is prepared in the place where normally casket is. The body may be cremated before or after the ceremony, depending on each situation. The burial place in a sacred location such as a cemetery, a mausoleum, or a crypt. A gravestone or a memorial plaque should be placed at the burial site to record the memory of the deceased. All Souls Day is a special day to remember those beloved that have passed. But in our heart, those special people are never forgotten. And one day, with God's graces, we will rejoin them in heaven.